Welcome to the first episode of Blessing. Thank you for your visit. Today, let us choose corruption, information, and state society relations as subject theme of our episode. Corruption is a human induced calamity, essentially political and moral in nature before they could assume various facets as economic, technological, and others. In the Philippines, there is a widespread clamor and public outcry against corruption of public funds. The talk of the town centered on DPWH flood control projects that have bypassed several checks and balances of the governance system to perfect the enactment of corruption. But the investigations themselves are starting to attract mudslinging shots on everyone involved, the investigated parties and investigators alike. The aim is to confuse the public, disrupt the process, stop investigations, discredit investigations, score points for 2028 elections. While so, the people are awaiting justice to step on its wheels and grind them towards its end goal. But seeing confusion in the process, we can fully understand why they also end up disgruntled against some public officials and private contractors, and more approving of other entities based on opinion polls recently conducted. While these developments were ongoing from 12 to 18 of October 2025, we detected a capacity issue besetting the government. It is good to hear right from one diplomat's end that the system of investigation is starting to emerge. Some requirements have recently been set in place, others remain to be identified. This lends us a good picture as to why investigations, whose importance is highly critical and demanded, appear so scattered and weakly undertaken. But this capacity issue hints us of one critical course of action that the Philippine government can consider in strengthening its relationship with its people in this time of crisis. One opportunity that it can look into is in organizing its ranks to provide comprehensive information to the public. It needs to organize a task force or the like to provide status reports during the start and end of the week, ideally, or if not, at least weekly, that disseminates the following information at the very least. Number one, total number of cases filed so far. Number two, major details on filed cases. Number three, status of other cases. Number four, facts and measures of action established so far by investigating bodies. Number five, action being taken up by these bodies. Next, scope and coverage of investigation. Next, plan and status of initiatives undertaken. Next, technical and logistical assistance needed from different stakeholders and others that may be disclosed. We look forward to the Philippine government to make necessary steps in this direction to inform the public as it ought to be. The national agencies and offices that stepped openly engaged in the investigations are DPWH, DBM, DOF, DEPD or presently or formerly NEDA, DepEd, DOJ, Ombudsman, and others that did but not covered in this brief yet. Apart from the two chambers of the Philippine Congress, the Philippine Senate and the House of Representatives. ICI is an independent investigating body, but we have to acknowledge the existence of. It would also be good if DILG and League of Mayors can organize LGUs with seal of good governance to produce necessary reports as well on the matter. This is a time that state offices cannot simply mum over the matter. The public is actually in deep pain. Good governance does not produce long term pains, neither short term pains to the public, but service, gains, and good and decent life for everyone. We do not forget as well the role of the broadcast media and persons, as well as offices, in widely disseminating the reports and validating the reports whenever necessary and gainful. Lastly, while one capacity issue of the Philippine government has just been noted, there is a need to point out a major capacity issue on the part of the public, the Filipinos in particular. The general tenor always of Filipinos in expressing their right to demand justice is always made on the premise of their role as taxpayers. I have been following tracks of these expressions for one full month already, and while I can fully empathize with everyone as I am taxpayer myself, whether or not I work or earn anything, I deem that there is something more that we should remember and bear in mind. If the 1987 Philippine Constitution could only be reread under Section 1 of Article 2, the Declaration of Principles and State Policies, it is stated that as the Philippines is a democratic and republican state, the sovereignty of this state resides in the people, and all government authority, that being the Philippine government, emanates from them, that is, you and I. In short, we're more than taxpayers in demanding justice. The Philippines is our sovereignty. It is our portion from God. Our Constitution provides that it is in this sovereignty where we authorize the Philippine government to exercise its duties and responsibilities in collectivity, not the other way around. In this context of issue, the public servants should serve our sovereignty by delivering and exacting justice as part of their duties and accountability in their sworn office, not only because we produce what took place in public coffers as if we are doing a ritualized offering, but because we do fulfill our fiscal duties as citizens of this land in order to power up state offices and enable public officials to enact their authority and fulfill their commitments to this land. They need to do their part then, and then we give them authority to report to us. But if we do, we have to listen at the very least to what they will officially report to us. That is why we should demand action, but and however, in responsible and accountable way so that the rule of law can pervade in our land. The Philippine government does not need high level technology to organize status reports yet. We understand that blockchain technology is close to being funded to support the future investigation of the corruption ridden DPWH flood control projects. This is a different subject matter, though, and we will not take this up here. The public need basic information systematically organized as official report, made available as deck presentation, video recording, or published material. The modality no longer matters. Transparency in public information and use of reliable information are core principles of good governance in the Philippines that every office of the Philippine government should observe. ability to organize information into reports for public access is a competency expected of the Philippine government. We look at the civil service law and revisit oath of office of public officials. The status reports present themselves as continuing fulfillment of commitment of the Philippine government to the people, which can only be delivered in installments, understandably, due to the work required to conduct and finish investigations. But we do appreciate if any office can finish conducting investigations with conclusive findings and action taken in swift and record time. For the public officials and offices that can fulfill their commitments, the people shall remember your deeds now and in the future. The fact that people are organizing mass actions every now and then, consistently, over a period of 3 months already, on the same issue means they desire to see concrete information and action undertaken by the Philippine government. And for state leaders thinking twice of their action, kindly leave the people a good memory, not of their citizenship, but of state leadership to emulate, work in full trust with, and true to their constitutional duty.